break. Here's Wade. San Antonio with the rebound.
And talking about Whiteside, he isn't completely out of the woods yet. I mean, after a couple of ejections last season, his teammates publicly condemned his actions. They questioned his maturity, challenged him to be more reliable, and for the most part, he was after those incidents.
Wade passes to Johnson, and stolen by Aldridge. Parker outside. He feeds it to Green. Kicks it out to Leonard, and stolen by Whiteside. Oh, and a fast break for the Heat. Wade with the ball, and he can't bank that one in.
And you know, the thing about Whiteside, guys, when he's right, he's an unbelievable game changer. Second in the league in blocked shots last season. Also posted the second best field goal percentage. The guy can play if he keeps his head squarely on his neck. Certainly not the dream start they were hoping for, going 1 for 4 early.
Here's Parker. San Antonio again missing. The Heat have gone just 1 of 4 to get this game started. Dragic with a wide open look. Kawhi Leonard with the rebound.
Really just struggling here in the first few minutes. 5 attempts with only 1 falling.
Off target with his 3.
Still can't quite get anything to fall after 5 tries.
Dragic against Green. Goes up on the wing. They get the rebound.
Very dangerous to leave a guy like that open. Lucky break there for the D.
Leonard, no luck.
That's the kind of D you need when he's got the ball near the hoop. They were all over him.
That's a perfect up and under there. That's textbook.
Spurs trail by 5. Clark, some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, they need a basket just to regain some momentum here, Kevin.
And his presence as a scorer, it just has a calming effect for the rest of the team. He's a fallback option whenever they need one. And the Spurs last season became the first franchise to hire a female assistant coach. A big step, not just for the Spurs, but really for all of the NBA.
The finish, and Whiteside sends it back. And now here's Johnson, the fast break chance. Dishes it to Dragic. It's stolen by Duncan. And here we go. Here's Leonard. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. Well, as Greg was just talking about, the assistant that was hired was Becky Hammond, a phenomenal player for a very long time in the WNBA. And Clark, you know, you and I were talking about this before. She was a perfect candidate to become the first full-time female assistant.
Yeah, I agree with you, and it might not seem like that big a deal to some, but this was a big-time barrier breaker that the Spurs pulled off.
Here's what San Antonio's going with right now. West is checked in for Duncan. Kyle Anderson comes in for LaMarcus Aldridge. Martin's checked in for Daniel Green. And it's Mills in for Parker. Now here is Martin. And that's out of bounds. San Antonio will retain possession.
And you know what? Just a little too much heat on that pass for him to come up with the steal.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that was going to be a tough catch for either one of them.
The Spurs making a switch here. Diaz checked in. Here's Anderson. And it's Martin penetrating, and he jams it with authority.
Rock hard finish there, guys.
And only one hand needed for that one.
Yeah, and sometimes that's all you need.
Knocked loose. To the paint. And it's the Heat on the break. Out to the right wing. Weber kicks to Stoudemire. Kicks it out to Richardson. Drops in the tray. Richardson's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. And we'll get a look at how the hustle stat game has been going for Miami.
Well, I think the defensive aggressiveness on display here has caught him off guard. Playing airtight defense and coming up with the steals.
Yeah, but they've also protected the paint extremely well. You see that in their block shot totals, but also they've altered a lot of shots.
And here's Mills after Justice Winslow getting his shot to go from deep. It's West with the drive. And it's Miami with the rebound.
And for David West last season, the thought was he might increase his production with Paul George out, but the opposite happened. West suffered his lowest scoring output in a decade, only 12 points per game on 47% shooting. Rough showing for the former All-Star.
Manu Ginobili's checked in for David West. And Miami with a change here, too. Goran Dragic is checked in for Weather. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
Nice work to get it inside and draw the contact.
Exactly. The defense determined not to allow the easy layup right there. They'll settle for making him earn the free throws.
So he comes up empty at the line. Andre getting back to West, even though his scoring was down, his playmaking was up. You were talking about that. Clark, 3.5 assists a game last season, by far the highest number of his career.
Yeah, one of the very best pros I've ever been around. He's very smart, he's tough, he's all about team, and, you know, he makes things happen. Impacts winning in a lot of ways, and those assist totals indicate that.
Now, here's Dragic. Mick Roberts dishes to Stoudemire. And it's denied. Lets it go from deep. Dragic good for 3. Dragic has got 6 points.
Tell you what, they haven't wasted any time getting into the swing of things on the boards.
And even this early, that's a good omen for the rest of the game.
Here's Diaw. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. With the teardrop, and he sinks the layup.
You know, obviously, he knows how to finish with some flair.
Well, Heat leading by 3. Outside, Dragic kicks it to McRoberts. Winslow wide open. He fires, and a miss there on the triple. And now in transition is Mills. Here we go. Takes the assist and lays it in. Picked out the pass nicely.
You know, huge height advantage there, but because of the great body control, he's able to cancel it out.
Agreed. The body control essential in that situation. I mean, if you're giving up a bunch of height, then you better be able to manufactured.
So at the end of one quarter of play, still a close game. Heat lead by 1. Live from the AT&T Center in San Antonio, you're watching 2K Sports. And Tim Duncan closing in on 2 decades in the league. He talked about his Well, Duncan breaking down his love for the game and what keeps him going, not just playing, but still enjoying it at his age.
Man, it's phenomenal to see because Tim Duncan doesn't usually get too introspective with us. Anybody that plays this game knows exactly what he's talking about. And at the level he's competing currently, I don't see him going anywhere anytime soon, that's for sure.
Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Heat?
The roof is up right now, guys. It's raining in here. A lot of threes through the first.
Hey, sometimes when it rains, it pours, and they have not let up from beyond the arc.
On the court for Miami here in the second. Dragic is joined in the backcourt by Wade. Staying out there with Whiteside, and it's Johnson in at the 3 slot. It's stolen by Dragic. And they're moving it up. Oh, and there's the alley-oop.
Stupendous. I love that word. Save that one. The word and the jam. I want to see it again.
Just beautiful.
That's one of those alley-oops upside your head right there.
Aldridge against Dang. Here's Mills. Miami grabs the miss.
And look, Joe Johnson last season, not his best statistically, but boy, did he show some heart. I mean, he was one of the catalysts for Brooklyn making the playoffs, especially when Brook Lopez returned healthy and the two could play off of one another.
And the Spurs with some changes. David West, he's checked in for Diaw. Leonard comes in for Kyle Anderson. And Parker subbed in for Patty Mills. Richardson, good.
Excellent ball movement there, guys.
And that's keyed this run. Passing it with purpose, the D hasn't been able to keep up.
Talking about Joe Johnson, I'm not going to lie. Last year wasn't one of his best statistically, Clark. His shooting accuracy was on the low end. His turnover numbers were high. It wasn't very pretty.
But for Joe, Kevin, I don't think it was about the numbers last year. It was about wanting to compete and to win. And he's developed a champion's will over the years. And I would like to see him finally achieve his goal of maybe winning the championship. I think he deserves it. He's been consistent, he's been solid, and now you see some maturation with him as well.
Daniel Green, he's checked in for San Antonio. Parker kicks to Aldridge. He dishes it to Leonard to stop the run.
Oh! Rising up and hammering it home. That could be just what they need to pick their energy up.
Wow, it definitely got the guys on the bench on their feet. I'll say that for man, oh man, was that
And no
fun.
doubt about it, guys.